Hey guys, welcome to a brand new deck profile for Blue Eyes. Now, I haven't mentioned this on Facebook. I've been very quiet on the release date because I wanted to make it very special for you guys. And okay, if you guys don't like Blue Eyes, just wait for the next video to upload. It won't be too long. If you do like Blue Eyes, thanks for coming again. The reason why we do so much Blue Eyes content is because we constantly get message review. Blue Eyes is what brought me to the channel. We want to keep that important to the channel, but while not also forgetting everything that makes the council. The council is the broad audience of different decks and different requests and not the same old, same old. I don't want anyone feeling that way, just so that's clear. Now, this is not going to be just a straight, here's the 40 cards, here's the 15 card side deck. There's a 15 card side deck, 15 card extra deck and side deck. This is going to be a little more in-depth than I usually am with Blue Eyes. I usually figure that most people know it by now, but I'm going to go more in-depth. So, if you've been waiting, this is Blue Eyes Pure. 3 main, always 3 main. Now, the thing with main is, I'm going to start breaking down combos, so I don't have to do like separate videos and have you guys go across separate videos for one thing that you really want. The thing with main is, when you trigger it, you want to go to this bad boy, Ozrise. Now, the reason you want to go for Ozrise is because Ozrise does what Maiden does, but with a 2500 attack stat and a 3000 defense that your opponent has to now get over while you consecutively bring a Blue Eyes from the graveyard, unless there's a Necro Valley, and that's what the side deck's for, pretty much, is to just poop all over Gravekeepers and stuff, and Evil Swarm. Those are like the two worst matchups. Now, for Maiden, a lot of you will write in and say, and I'm actually talking to everyone that's talking about this, but I want to use Maiden to constantly trigger her. See, here's the mistake about doing that. You're going to lose out on doing anything except, oh great, Blue Eyes, I just got to negate the Maiden off, wait for him to trigger it, and then just ram it. It's that simple. That's what sucks about it. That's why the deck gets brought down into, you know, people don't believe it's a thing unless they've really seen it in action. If you watch the duel videos I post, then you've seen it in action from my hands. This build is optimized to keep Clog away, and this build is also optimized to basically give you everything that you would need and understand from my point. Now, for Ozrise, it's going to do the same thing as Maiden does, so we need a 3 main to help us bring out the Ozrise. It's a 3 main staple across all Blue Eyes variants without question, because it's a good defense card. And when I say it's a good defense card, Blue Eyes is offense, Main is defense. When you need a stall, Main's your girl. They're not going to want to attack into it and give you a free Blue Eyes. They're going to sit there, they're going to wait and figure out how to get it off the field, like breakthrough skill or something. And that's something to keep in mind in the mindset of the game. 3 Blue Eyes, without question, it's, you know, it's Blue Eyes. You're not going to run anything less. Still waiting on my show and jump one. Show and jump. Hurry up with that. I want my nice one. Not send that way. 3 Whitestone and Legend. Now, the reason for 3 Whitestone, even though you have Maiden bring it out, Whitestone allows you to get that into your hand, get it into the graveyard, and basically pull out resources out of your deck that normally you don't want to draw. If you draw a Blue Eyes when you need a top deck situation, because remember, this is a combo deck, and the top deck situation is usually Maiden or Silver's Cry, then you need to basically get it out of your deck faster, so 3 copies is standard for Blue Eyes Pure. Anything else, it's kind of, it depends on the deck itself, and you'll see that across the different variants if you watch my videos closely enough. 2 Knew It, always 2 in Pure, never 3. Now, the reason you don't want to run 3 is because 3 will clog. Now, given that you can say the Heretic Seal, and you can run Gweb or Geb or Gwen Stacy, you know, little Spider-Man nod, just joking around. No, seriously, you don't want to get in that situation when you're going to, like, be stuck on Knew It. Knew It is a combo piece. And its job is plain and simple. Bring out Synchro level 5s. Bring out the Blue Eyes to go to rank 8s. That's all it really does. It's going to pull out that fodder from the deck. So that's something important to keep in mind. It's like having another Maiden, but it doesn't have the defense of Maiden. It's more of an offensive card. So you don't want to really summon it unless you're forced to, and just go defensive with it with some kind of back row or honest. You know, honest is a thing. So the one honest. And then, I despise and love this card at the same time. Never run in 3, never run in 1. Don't put an Influence Dragon in. I'm going to go in depth why. Bright Star is staple at 2 in Pure. There is no way around it. It is the best way to trigger Maiden. It will steal games for you. Ancient Sacred Wyvern is your best friend out of your extra deck when you can do it. And keep in mind when I say when you can do it, make sure your opponent doesn't have set 5. If you're game 2 and you go on the side deck and you Royal Decree, then you're perfectly fine and just swing away for days. Bright Star is a necessary evil that it doesn't really do anything by itself, but it needs another card. But it's a good 1900 standalone card that can stand up to things like Thunder King Ryo and just beat over the face with Thunder King Ryo. Just beat them. Keep in mind that you're going to need this to trigger Nuet or Maiden, so you're not like dependent on Lance Chalice or the other trigger card that's in the deck now. That's just something to keep in mind. You also need 1 extra level 8 target because you are running 3 trade-ins, and if you cut trade-in down to 2, you're going to lose a lot of consistency with drawing the trade-in to get the blue eyes out of your hand. So you run the extra vanilla so you can also have an extra Ozrise target. You also run it so that way you can actually go into Ozrise faster. Clear enough? I chose Rabby Dragon, sorry, it's very early in the morning, Rabby Dragon, because simple. Originally I was running Trihorn because I had the Epidemic Virus in the extra deck, but because the spellbook matchup for me, is easy enough with my set deck as it is, I dropped it, went to this 2950 beater, and said, hell, eyes. You know, simple as that. This is the only dark we're running, is Red Eyes, because Dragon support is too good for this deck. That's always something to look out for in the future, is Dragon support equals good for this deck, most of the times. Flame Will Guard. Only other tuner, besides the White Stones and the main, the White Stones are sent to the grave, the main's defense, and this is just your main tuner to bring out with Nuet, and constantly bring it from the graveyard. Just helps you make those level 5s and gives you an extra target, just like how I said with trade-in. It's the same thing with Cards of Consequence. 3 trade-in, pretty standard. You want speed, we're fast. That's what the deck is. The deck is speed, fast, combo, and when you can't combo, you just go offensive or defensive. That's how the deck works. It's like playing football on the way. You gotta be in that mindset, as crazy as that sounds. And trust me, it sounds crazy. 3 Forbidden Lance and 2 Chalice. I don't really need to go into the draw cards. That's pretty plain and simple. Discard White Stone, get Blue Eyes, discard trade-in, you know, with it. 2 Chalice, 3 Lance. 3 Lance is very important because we're still heavy list format, and artifacts are going to be a thing. So I incorporate that into the side deck and my notes for the side deck, which you'll hear at the end of the video. It's going to be a pretty long video. The Chalice is holding a lot of flexibility because it can just stop Pleiades. That's something to keep in mind because Fiendish Chain will just bounce it on the trigger. You could do it the other way, but then you're giving up more resources to do that. That's why I'm trying to get the point across here. If they bounce Maiden, you laugh because you get Blue Eyes. Now you gotta get over Blue Eyes. So that's something to keep in mind there too. 3 Silver's Cry, obvious Monster Reborn, we're gonna run it. No, we're not gonna be running Solo Charge. We cannot support the life point damage because Ancient Sacred Wyvern, they play it. Great. Ancient Sacred Wyvern game? Doesn't matter if you have 5 monsters in a giant setup, I just go Bright Star into Maiden and just OTK. Only 2 MSTs are running the 3 Lance, otherwise they were clogged, the 1 Dark Hole, because Dark Hole is staple, even with Maiden. This is pretty much, I dropped Mirror Force for this, 3 Fiendish Chain. Now some of you going, but really you've been so proactive on Breakthrough skill and you're using Fiendish Chain. Fiendish Chain carries a flexibility that Breakthrough doesn't for Maiden, which is you can target your own Maiden, get Maiden's effect, then she's negated. Let me rewind there just in case you didn't catch that. You will get the Blue Eyes from the trigger from Fiendish. When that is fully done resolving, then Fiendish Chain will resolve, targeting Maiden fully and negating her. Just keep that in mind. So Maiden's effect happens first, then the chain. It always goes backwards. So it's like the last thing that happened is the first thing to happen. That's something to keep in mind for those of you new to the game, because we do have different skill bases, and I always try to keep that in mind. 1 Boundless, 1 Warning, 1 Torrento. Torrento plus Ozrise equals God tier. Bottomless is just a great card because if they play Soul Charge, flip it up. If you play Warning on Soul Charge, they do not have to pay the life points, just so that's clear. What you want to do is let them pay the life points. When the second they go into the Exceed or the Synchro or the Tribute Summon, I don't know, it's going to be everywhere. When they do that, then play the Warning, because then you put them in a sticky situation where like, oh god, I overcommitted, I paid like 5,000 life points, and I got wrecked, you know, it's simple as that. So I'm just going to move this out of the way very gently so we can actually start going over the extra deck. Okay, extra deck, let's start with rank 4s. One Gydesto Emerald is still staple. One Direwolf makes his reappearance. 101 Extinction Knight. These are the level 4, rank 4s that we'll be using. We only use 4 of them. Direwolf 101 Extinction Knight are counters to our worst matchup, Evil Swarm. In our second matchup, Gravekeepers. Now, something to keep in mind about both of those matchups. If you get across, I know some of you are having problem with Gyugios. That's often handled in the side deck. Azrai Spam, Venus Chain, and your timing and luck. That's pretty much all I can really tell you. Maiden just kind of stops them for a few seconds, but not really much. It's kind of a bad thing with Maiden because they could just trigger it twice. You'll get your blue eyes, and then they just ram you for massive damage, and with that limited removal if they ran. So, Direwolf, pop the Necro Valley. It's a minus, but it's a good minus because it gets that off the field, so you never have to worry about it again. 101, suck up the boss monsters. Gydesto Emerald has the flexibility of two things. Putting back all the minions into your deck, which is a great thing, or specialing the blue eyes and going into a higher combo, which is like going into either 3000 Beatstick, Azrais, or Felbrand, or Thunderend. Extinction Knight, if you can get your hands on one, it's a great card. Your opponent gets massive advantage, okay, blow up the field, we're done. Simple as that. Thunder and Dragon and Felgrand. Thunder and Dragon is super important now. The inclusion of Soul Charge into the game, just not even the meta state, the game, because this deck is a rogue deck, into the game is basically going to have a giant overcommitted field, and if they can't make Stardust, Thunderend. If they can make Stardust, ram the Stardust, and then just Thunderend everything away. Seems legit and funny. Felgrand is a walking breakthrough skill. It is a staple in the extra deck. Just keep that in mind. It is very, very crucial. I mean, you can get away without that Gusto 101 or Extinction Knight. Direwolf is like $3, just in case you're on budget. And Felgrand here is a walking breakthrough. He's very important, and Thunderend is very important. Just so that's clear. For Synchros, we're running a lot of them. Is Catastrophe and Armadates. We need the 2 best level 5s, and if Synchros did get more popular, Hyper Librarian may make an appearance, but probably not. Probably not, just saying. Armadates allow us to basically win games for Giant Back Row. It basically just curb stomps Gravekeepers for a while. Make that against Gravekeepers. Make sure they don't have Necro Valley, and you're good to go. You pretty much won the game from there, not sound that way. As long as they don't Blackhorn you, especially game 2, it's going to be much easier. You'll see why. Black Rose and Ancient Sacred Wyvern, best card in the entire extra deck. Next to Thunderend and Azrais, this is like the best card, my favorite. Black Rose in the field is great and everything. Bright Star plus Maiden. Ancient Sacred Wyvern just goes, it's over 9,000 kind of status thing. You see it with the Noble Knight duel that I had. I was playing Hero Blue Eyes. Just asked for a link and I'll link it. And I got it up to 8,000. Brought it back. No, it was on Frog Monarchs. Frog Monarch Blue Eyes, which is named Blue Eyes Monarch, or Monarch Eyes, or whatever, just whatever you choose to call it, but it's like Blue Eyes and Monarch type of. I got it up to 8,000, and I won the game just straight off it from Light and Darkness place. It was amazing. 3, Azrai Silver Dragon, always a staple at 3 for pure. For every other variant, it comes down to the playstyle of that variant, the extra deck of that variant, and basically what you're doing with the blue eyes in the deck. But 3 Azrais is instant staple for just, you know, pure blue eyes, what you're looking at now. Protection and Maiden special summoning, it's too good. It's like, when you're ready to go super offensive, you want to go super offensive, that's the way to do it. I got a pretty cat going nuts in the back. So basically what you want to do is you want to go summon Azrais, let blue eyes come back, summon a Maiden in White Stone or Flame Wall Guard. That's why we have so many tuners. See, that's a good thing. And then basically go for another one and make your opponent go, ugh! You know, just make a rage. That kind of sound that you'll hear from them. 1 of the castle, I still like him because he comes out as 3,100. But if you can figure out how, you can kind of make him a little bit stronger. A little 3,300. But that takes too much requirements. It really never happens unless you're using the side deck. Ooh. Yeah, I'm getting a little, like, excited to show you the side deck, but just 1. Yeah, it's more of like an extra spot, but I just like it because it gives me another level 9 to mess around with. Gives all of us a level 9. I'm just playing this deck. And of course, 1 Star Eater, because this deck just loves Star Eater. Bright Star Maiden. Let's go Blue Eyes and Maiden and make a Star Eater. The heck with Usher Eyes. Let's make a Star Eater. Let's just have a 3200 beat stick, take out anything that's shiny back row, and go, no artifacts. You cannot activate that Storm card. They can still activate the double Cyclones, something to remember. So, I'm already preparing for that matchup. Now, that is something I'm thinking about. I may add Alloy of Justice Quarantine, which basically says no light monsters can be special summoned. And it's 1700. Artifacts only run if they're running, when I think they're running, they're only going to be running Maxis and Thunder King. So pretty much the Thunder King is not really going to be much of a threat to deal with, especially with Blue Eyes. I mean, it's just like Phoenix Chain it and then just laugh for a half hour. While they can't attack with Thunder King, you just jump over Thunder King. So it's pretty much that kind of thing, you know. And there's tons of ways to deal with Thunder King. So while we're talking about Thunder King, we're going to start with the side deck now. We're running 1 Thunder King. Just poop on anything that searches. And I don't own mistakes currently. I can go get them right now if I felt like it. I like Joel Lockbird better. Just listen to me. Mainly because I'm running this too in the side deck, and you know I hear that this negates the mistake, and it's a little more crucial. So I went with something that goes with the deck, allows me to not only stop search power, but stop draw power. This will literally, they throw a Max E down, I throw this down. I'm like, take your first draw, you ain't getting another one. You know why you ain't getting one? Because Joel Lockbird says you ain't getting another one. So now I can special summon, they only got 1 card off it. I can go bonkers, and they're just sitting there like, if only my Max C. It would give me what I need for defense or just to make a comeback. Joel Lockbird seem to be forgotten, but this is still such a great side deck card. And it's one that you should not be overlooking. So we Royal Decree. I hate traps. I hate anything that's going to stop my plays. That's pretty obvious, you know. So Royal Decree on Evil Swarms, and it's like, yeah, 1 problem down, and we just got to do Ophion. And how we do with Ophion? We troll him with Ghost Tricks. No, I've stated this before, Jack Frost, and I kind of use almost the same extra deck for Chaos Dragons. I mean side deck. The Jack Frost allows you basically to put Ophion face down, negate its effect, special out of Blue Eyes. If you have to Kree up, it just, most of the times you will because of the draw power from the deck. It's just speedy. And it's just like, oh, you want to have Ophion? I'm sorry, what was that? No Ophion for you today. The only thing is, like you'll notice is, you're probably going, well, that negates Phoenix Chain. That's right, that's why you sired out, not sound that way. For that matchup. Or you can still run, like, just take out the Phoenix Chains, or drop the Bombless and Warning and just do it that way. But what I like to do also, because I want more draw power, is I run 3 Max Series. And this is also taking into account for the next couple of months, there's going to be a lot of special summoning. So these hand traps, it may seem like it'll clog, but it's about not throwing them all in at once when you're siding. It's about siding that matchup properly, and that takes a little bit of skill. No disrespect to anyone. That's going to take a lot of thought power too. And then finally, for the most uber side deck card ever is Skill Drain. Now some of you going, but you're negating your own stuff. No, I'm not. Remember how I said before that this, you know, like negating is kind of a bad thing? But with Skill Drain, you play Lance, and then you get Blue Eyes, because you targeted Maiden, she's unaffected by Skill Drain, you get Blue Eyes. So now that she's unaffected, and you get your Blue Eyes, you can go for a 3000 defense Azure Eyes, which most decks now can't deal with because Skill Drain's active, and you could just swing for days on end, or you could just throw Maiden in defense mode, you know, that's a thing. But, you know, again, it's just a thing. And keep in mind that you can use the Lance when they're attacking, not choose activate Maiden's effect at that point. When they attack, it's going to trigger Maiden's effect, then activate it then get the Blue Eyes, and then just go, no! And then basically there's that thing too. So that's what it comes down to with Skill Drain. It's very, very optimal for the build to run, but you have to know what you're doing with Skill Drain. And if I want to turn it off, I just run Royal Decree. And it's like, you know what? The skill drain isn't working out. I'm just gonna roll the create, MST it away. It's okay. You know, I don't need it. I got this. So that's pretty much everything. I'm still looking at, always looking at future support for this deck while I work on 20 other decks and all of your wonderful requests that make the council what it is. And let me just say real quick, if anyone has a deck request that could be any deck, doesn't matter what it is, I'll give it a go. Anything you want to see, leave it in the comments. I will respond to you once I'm on. I will respond to you because that's what I do, and I will immediately give you a, yeah, that should work, or no, that may not work, but I'm still going to give it a go. And then it takes more time, but I managed to get it to work one way or another, and I reiterate the deck any way that needs to be reiterated. Now, some final little notes to this whole thing. I was thinking about signing Fossil Diner too, because that literally just poops all over artifacts, but Quarantine's harder for them to get over, and then I could still basically, you know, not really have to worry about anything, because it's like, okay, I still have red eyes, so it's like, just special red eyes, you know, let's, you know, go into it, and it just allows me to use my extra deck a little bit more, but that's for the artifact matchup. Anything else, it's going to be really dead, so I took that into account, that's why I didn't run it. Against Geargia, a lot of you are having that issue against Geargia. Maxi, Jack Frost, and Skill Drain. These are some of your best friends. Joel and Lockbird's okay against that matchup. I don't feel it's like, because they just do the Geargia armor. I mean, if they have 2 Geargia armors, then that's different. But then they're pretty much going off at that point, so it's like either Fiendish Chain or Chalice it. If you can't do that, flip up the Skill Drain. And when you look at it, it's like Skill Drain, Skill Drain, Skill Drain, triple Fiendish Chain, double Chalice. That's 8 negations. So you're not really going to have much of a problem when you come down to thinking about the whole thing. Just keep in mind what I said about Maiden and Skill Drain is Lance is his best friend, Decree's the best friend. Don't summon the Maiden out. Not to sound that way, you know, Bright Star is alive at that point. You want to have Blue Eyes out already, and that's what Silver Sky is so good. It's like Silver Sky just became God tier because Blue Eyes has no effect. These are little things to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is if your opponent's back row is huge, don't go ramming into it. Take it out piece by piece, then summon the Ozdrize out, then go off, and then leave them in a situation, like a little game of chess, leave them in a situation they can't come back. If you guys like what you saw, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you have a deck request, it'll be down below. If you have a video request, now a video request is a little bit different. If it's not a deck, it's an idea for card versus card, pack versus pack, or a dual request, like seeing 2 decks go at it. You know, me and Yugi514 can always do that kind of thing. We arrange it, and you know, just send along those lines, like Yugi Tuber kind of video you want to see, then just leave it in the comments below, and I'll get to it. I promise you. Anyway, I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council for all Blue Eyes and more. Well, we'll still keep doing it, but just fair warning, it's gonna be like, just like 6 weeks of constant Blue Eyes and a little vacation from Blue Eyes and then constant Blue Eyes. I'm going to go back and forth between things. Some things always do take priority, and I don't say it a lot. Some things do take priority, like when a new booster set's coming out, we have to jump on those kinds of decks. It gets more people onto the council and helps us grow and basically do something that we're secretly working on, but we don't want to share with you just yet. Don't take it offensively. Trust me, it'll be worth the wait. So I'm ready for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Council. I'll catch you next video, and I'll see you there. Bye! I'm like walking off. Alright, see you next video. Peace.